But we're gonna move on to 2015. I have far less to say in the next 4 years than I do about
Oh, trust me, so do I. So do I.
2015. So here we get into the transition almost into what we're seeing of prominence right now. Jurassic World, which another sequel is coming out. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is also revitalized in 2015. Avengers: Age of Ultron is released. Inside Out, Furious 7, Minions, Mockingjay Part 2, The Martian, live action Cinderella, which is the first like
Oh, you
bigger live
mean
action one.
Golden Globe nominee for comedy?
Cinderella
No,
or
The
The Martian.
Martian.
Oh yeah, there's what the fuck.
It is
Spectre,
such a joke.
Spectre, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, Pitch Perfect 2, Ant Man, Home, 50 Shades of Grey is released, and Mad Max Fury Road is also released during this time frame. So 2015 was a good year for the blockbuster. I'm not like Dylan. I'm not going to give you a thumbs down on Jurassic World or Force Awakens or Age of Ultron, but I
Yeah,
can't.
I gave thumbs sideways for Force Awakens.
I think all three of those are good movies. I think they lead to stuff that's Age of Ultron. Things only get better, not worse. So I'm not until modern Marvel in the last couple of years. So I'm not going to say like, oh, it doesn't lead to anything great. Jurassic World, I think by itself, I think Jurassic World is a really fun movie. The franchise afterwards, woof.
Yeah. Well, it definitely gets worse after. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
And Force Awakens, it's not even close that it's the best thing of the sequel
Oh,
trilogy.
100%. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about another one in a couple of years afterwards. So that is 2015. I have a couple of technical changes.
Oh, one sec.
Go for it.
Just a couple things about the ceremony. 50th nomination for John Williams. Nice to see.
Greatest of all time. The GOAT. The true
Um,
GOAT. If you want to talk about movie industry, the true GOAT is
yes.
John Williams.
Yeah. 50 nominations. That's incredible.
On that, I said this last episode. I want to say it again. There is a tremendous documentary called "This Is John Williams" on Disney Plus. Go fucking watch it. It's incredible. Just covering
Yeah.
John Williams and every single bit of it. All the music in it is all his, and you just go, "How the fuck does this guy do this? Like, how is every great soundtrack to movies always John Williams? And how are
They're
they
coming
always
out of
iconic?"
one brain.
Yeah,
Like, that's incredible.
just like the stories of him. Like I just saw a clip of Spielberg talking about John Williams making the Raiders March for Indiana Jones, and he has the intro as one version, and
Yes.
he has the hook as the second version. He's like, and
Yes.
Spielberg just said, "Why don't you just put them together?" He's like, "I'll try," and then he does it, and it's
Yeah.
like, "I'll make it." It's like you already had two pieces of iconic shit right there, and he's like, "What if I just put
Uh,
it together?" It's incredible.
I can't wait to talk about Raiders when we do it because there's so much to talk about with that score. Like
Raiders
every
is
single song is great.
Raiders is so good. Raiders is so
Um,
good.
Ex Machina wins visual effects on a $15 million budget. The other nominees in the category: Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, Revenant, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I'm assuming every single other movie at least had a $50 budget.
Oh
At
yeah.
least. Maybe The Revenant has less than that, maybe. But The Force Awakens had at
If
least
it
200
if
million.
it's above that, it's because of talent cost. It's not because of visual effects budgets.
Exactly. So yeah, it's incredible. $15 in it. Like that's incredible. And then Spielberg becomes the director with the trying to think of how to say this. Becomes the director with the most Oscar nominations for his film. So he all his films combined have 128 nominations.
Huh.
He surpasses William Wyler, who has 120, who directed like Best Years of Our Lives and Roman Holiday, bunch of like great classic stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the best of the best here. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it's a it,
128. And I mean, now it's even more
oh yeah. I
because
mean
this is
Spielberg
2015.
Spielberg is films Tom Brady. Just there's so many things that unless Patrick Mahomes just keeps playing the way he's playing at a high level, it won't be touched simply because of the longevity Brady had. It's the same thing with Spielberg. Spielberg does not make bad movies. I think it's impossible for
Yeah,
Spielberg to make a bad movie
I don't like. I don't see another person surpassing Spielberg.
ever.
I mean, eventually it will happen, but
I don't think it will.
not anytime soon. That's for
Mm,
damn sure.
yeah. So a good year nonetheless. I have two technical changes.
Okay, I
Cost.
only have one.
What's your one? Let's go on your one.
Just a nomination for editing for Sicario.
Okay.
I
I've
love that
never
fucking movie.
never seen
Super
it.
underrated.
Never seen
Oh, it's so you would love it. It is so fucking great.
it.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it. Emily Blunt,
I know. I like
Benicio
a
del Toro.
see. Here's my favorite thing. This is how I know I can trust your recommendations because so many people there's so many movies that are just part we've talked about it on the show that are just part of the blind spot where it's like you would love that and it's just part of the blind spot that never got done and now like I can't trust some of the people that are telling me to go watch some of the stuff. The first thing you said about Sicario besides it being great, what are you talking about? It has Emily Blunt, and you know my love for Emily Blunt. You're like, that's how
Yeah,
we're gonna get him. It's not gonna be the action set piece or that. Like I'm like, I can watch any great action movie ever. That's not a problem. You get me with Emily Blunt.
yeah. It's Emily Blunt. Roger Deakins is cinematographer. It looks amazing. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, nice. Cinematography. I would change to Mad Max Fury Road. The cinematography in Mad Max Fury Road is so fucking good.
Trying to think of who won that year. Let's see. Revenant. Eh, hate to say it, but I think the Revenant deserves it. I mean, I would be okay with Mad Max winning it, as I'm fine with Mad Max winning. And it did win a lot, which is great.
It should.
Like I'm surprised by how much it won that year. When it kept winning, I was like, "Holy fuck, this is great!"
Well, it was a great experience to look at the Oscars that year and just go, huh, y'all motherfuckers actually listened for once, maybe.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was weird. It was really weird when it kept winning. I was like, actually, like,
It just flabbergasted me that that movie was number 15 at the domestic box office. It's not even close that is the best movie of the year. It's not even close from that standard.
but it's not. It's not like a mainstream kind of movie though. Like I'd say 15 is like. I'm actually surprised it did that well.
So I just remember we walked into it was the Majestic Theater, Brookfield, Wisconsin. Great Marcus Theater. And I went, I need to at this time there was a really shitty old Marcus Theaters on the south side of Milwaukee that we went to all the time. My wife and I. And I just went, no. This is supposed to be crazy and it's a more convenient time. Let's make the drive to the Majestic. Let's go see Mad Max there. And I remember walking into that theater and not that many people being there and within 5 minutes I went, I've never seen a movie like this in my life.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying like it's a little bit out there for mainstream.
But everybody who watches it is just like, God damn, this is good.
Exactly, but like it is like unconventional choice,
Yeah.
which is what I'm glad it succeeded so much in
Uh,
terms of. I think the Oscars did help in terms. Yeah, at least it did help get some more mainstream.
sure.
At least I like to think that.
Costume design. I can't remember who wins. I think I would have went with Force Awakens. I have Force
I
Awakens.
believe
I think it's Mad Max.
it is Mad Max. Yes.
Which is ironic. It's the one category that I'm like, I think I would have went with Force
Yeah.
Awakens. I just think I again, I'm not in the
Force
costume
Awakens.
design department of any fucking studio. But to me, judging a film, what it makes it far more interesting and far more difficult is the vast array of shit that has to be done in Star Wars to make everyone feel the way. do in Force Awakens, where the vast majority of the players in Mad Max are all incredibly the same, and not in a super unique
Yeah,
way outside of a few. But at the same time, I get it. A Morton Joe is an incredible costume. The Bullet Farmers are a great costume. I think all the costumes in Mad Max is great. I just think I probably would have went with the Not Awakens.
yeah. It is costume design is one of those things that like I don't fully understand like how
How
they're
they
voting
how they
on.
come to their
Yeah,
conclusion, yeah, that's
yeah.
certainly something that you will see from me all the time.
But I will say I did call one of the winner or one of the nominees when it came out in March, which was Cinderella. I saw that in March. I was like, this is getting an Oscar. I was right.
I mean, Cinderella of the live action movies is of Disney
That's
is
my favorite one
I don't know if
of the
that
live
I
action.
don't know if it's that or Beauty and the Beast for me. It's good. They're both good. I just thought
I like
I
it
just thought
more, yeah.
I just thought that there was no way that a live action Emma Watson was never going to be number one in your heart.
Yeah, but that one ruins it because they like auto tune her voice and stuff. Which, but yeah, I mean, it is great to see it anytime.
God, I really wish Emma Watson would act again.
I know, I destroys me.
It just sucks knowing how much talent there is in that woman, and you're just like, why? And she's just like teaching yoga and doing shit. It's what she does. And more power to her. If you can live the rest of your life just doing whatever that hell makes you
Hey,
happy.
she has plenty of money. Let's be honest
Well,
here.
that's what I'm saying. It's like if you can do that, and she's truly a woman of the world that can kind of do whatever she
Yeah,
wants, and she's intelligent and makes really wise decisions for herself. But like anytime she even remotely does an interview, I'm excited because I'm like, oh god, she's so fucking talented. Like God, I wish Emma Watson would do more.
yeah.
But those are my two technical changes. We can go to the big
All
six
right.
now.
Okay, so jumping in, you got Alejandro and you winning back to back for Revenant. Theo finally getting a win for the Revenant. Actress Brie Larson for Room. Mark Rylance with I don't know if it was exactly underdog performance, but for Bridge of Spies, Vikander or the Danish. Should have been nominated for actress, but studios do what the hell they want.
Studios are just trying to win. That's all it is.
Should have
Uh,
been nominated for actress, but hey, what can you?
hey, you're gonna probably be shocked by this one. Wrong director won.
Oh, I see. I disagree there, but
It's to me, Mad Max is a spectacle that the direction of
um,
that film is insane.
George Miller did win. When did he win? Let me pull up this real quick. Did win.
Especially when you
One of
hear the behind the scenes of how that movie was directed. That is all up here in George Miller's head.
Yeah, he did win the Critics' Choice. That's the only thing he did win was Critics' Choice.
The critics were right on this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I again, it's not like I would have been mad had he won.
Yeah.
It's just those two are like grueling movies. I think just in different ways.
Sure.
Because it's like you're in the fucking outback of Australia in a grueling way,
Yep.
or you're in the fucking Arctic, just in the fucking cold.
Yeah, and I
So
remember the
it's like,
stories of the Revenant, and you're like, God damn.
yeah, like that. Both must be miserable. So it's just like, okay, which one is worse?
Yeah.
And both have to be like just miserable at times.
That's the
So,
thing. I don't. Part of that was shot in northern Africa, so it's even fucking hotter. Because they just
oh,
yeah, because they
okay,
the thing is they had to ship the vehicles back and forth from Australia twice because one of the roads, the big sequences on the roads that they were going to use in Australia, they got their like biggest rainstorm in like decades. So it just turned into this like lush
Yeah.
valley of the desert, and they're like, "This isn't Mad Max." Like, so
Yeah.
they had to
That's
go to,
surprising.
so they had to go up to northern Africa where it's like desolate as fuck to do the vast
Yeah.
majority of it. Uh, I highly recommend. There's a channel called the shit. It was a shit show on YouTube. It is covered so well there. You can also see it on. Oh God, what is the name? It's gonna drive me crazy because I know it's Caravan of Garbage's channel, Mr. Sunday Movies or whatever that is. They also do a great job covering Mad Max Fury Road, the making of it. Anybody who sees those documentaries about how fucked the production of Mad Max was, you'll be astounded how good that movie came out. That
Yeah. Yeah, and there was like a lot of like turmoil on set with Charlize and Tom Hardy.
well, a lot of that was due to the production. The production was
Yeah.
just so nightmarish that they had a dislike for each other that just turned into hatred because they were
Yeah.
constantly being put together in situations that absolutely sucked.
Yeah. And then you got Tom Hardy on Revenant. I don't know if there was any turmoil on set of that, but also I did want to shout out Donald Gleason, who had a crazy fucking in 2015. You have The Revenant, you have Force Awakens, you have Ex Machina, and you have Brooklyn, which is an Oscar Best Picture nominee.
Hmm.
That's a crazy fucking year.
Yeah, and he's not doing that much nowadays, and it's bothersome because he's a damn good
Oh, I
actor.
know. He's a ginge. I love him. I
Anything for the
he was
red-haired boys, you know.
he used to be one of my favorite actors, and now yeah, he just doesn't do that much. Bad.
But
Uh,
I have no changes in the directing or acting categories other than the one I just said. I'm ready for Best Picture when you are.
I I think Alicia Vikander won for the wrong movie. I wish she would have had. I wish she would have been nominated for Ex Machina and not the Danish Girl. I
Okay.
wish she would have won for Ex Machina.
You
I think
really love
that's
Ex Machina.
that's I think that's a popular sentiment online. Like that's pretty popular opinion online is that she was nominated for the wrong movie. Because for one, the Danish Girl, she's the lead in that. Like it's just I think she has more screen time than Eddie Redmayne. Like I'm fairly certain of that.
Huh.
And
Never saw it, so I wouldn't know. Same thing with The Revenant. I've seen bits of The Revenant. I've never seen The Revenant. So.
uh yeah. I mean it's good. I don't love it, but when I saw it I was like, okay, yeah, Leo deserves like can argue. And then supporting actor, he wasn't even nominated, but I would have loved to see Benicio del Toro win for Sicario. That movie just got no recognition from anyone except
There's those movies that just fly under the radar and no one pays attention to them, and
yeah.
it's hurtful as
Although
someone who watches them that loves them.
it did get nominated for a Producer Guild Best
Huh.
Picture,
Interesting.
which that's nice to see. They're surprising though at times. They're a little bit more modern in their views because they also had Straight Outta Compton as one of their best movies.
Yeah.
But, like they do have like more modern views. It seems.
I mean, producers, the thing is, people need to realize this. Producers are the true voice of action behind movies a lot of the time. They think it's always director or whatever. The producer's the one making calls, getting shit done. And they have a huge say on what happens and
Yeah,
how things are done.
and they're definitely more. They're gonna be more favorable towards blockbusters.
Always.
So
I mean, because they understand the impact of what that does. And it's the same thing. It's
yeah,
another reason why I worship at the altar of Steven Spielberg. Beyond the fact that he's obviously the best director, he's also a phenomenal producer
yeah,
who backs creators and just makes great stuff. If you just went through a list of the producer roles that Steven Spielberg has, It's a list of classics.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, he has like TV credits that are incredible too.
Yeah,
So,
it's just he knows what
um,
he's doing.
yeah, a couple of shout outs wasn't that weren't nominated. Charlize and Fury Road.
Yeah, that one
Um,
is baffling to me.
Emily Blunt in Sicario. Jacob Tremblay in Room. I think he's only like 7 in that movie, but he's incredible. Seth Rogen and Steve Jobs. Jason Mitchell in Straight Outta Compton, right in that movie too. Just a
All right.
couple shout outs.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
Best Picture winner was Spotlight. Other nominees, you got The Big Short, you got Brooklyn, and Max Fury Road, The Martian, Room, The Revenant, Bridge of Spy.
You'll be shocked at what I think should be the best picture.
Yeah, I think that's popular sentiment.
Mad Max Fury Road is one of 4 movies I think are perfect. I think Mad Max Fury Road is a perfect film
I
because it
I'm
is such a
completely
visceral experience where you understand every single shot on a human level with so little dialogue. It's great. It's so good.
Have you seen Spotlight?
I have not seen Spotlight.
Okay. When I saw Spotlight, I had to go to
I've seen
Appleton
a
to
lot
see
of
it.
clips of Spotlight.
Okay. I had to go to Appleton to see it, and it was like a packed theater of like just me and old people
Yep.
because that's what it's gonna be at those types of movies.
Yep.
And I will say, like, I was blown away by that movie. And there's a part at the end of that movie where you know what it's about, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. There's a part in that
It's a
movie
Michael
where they
Keaton
just
movie. Trust me, I still know about the movie.
okay. At the very end, they just have a list of cities in the US where it just lists um cities where there's been Catholic priests who have
Sexually
molested.
assaulted or raped or
Yes.
molested boys. Yes.
Yeah, where there's been those cases. And it just keeps going on, on. And it just like was so impactful. And I was like, when I came out of that theater, I was like, okay, it's gonna win Best Picture. Like it just was like after that I was like, yep, it's going to. So after after seeing it, I was like, yeah, that that experience. I do really love Fury Road, but I'm completely fine with Spotlight.
I have no issue with Spotlight from what I've seen, and it's clearly a very impactful piece of material. I mean, it made waves in real life, and then Spotlight came out and made it even bigger. And I'm glad because I've never seen publicly the same sentiments for the Catholic Church prior to that coming out. Obviously, it's the Catholic Church. They're doing just fine, and they still make money hand over
Yeah,
fist, and they keep doing all their corrupt shit. Fuck the Catholic Church. I want to say that personally right now.
yeah. I should say we are definitely in the camp of like, it's a good thing that it's being taken down in that
I,
notch.
I
So
again, this is not a question of faith. Churches are not about faith; they're about organization. Fuck the Catholic Church. And if you want to come after me, go for it. I don't give a fuck. I'm glad Spotlight did that. That's awesome. And I'm glad that the original story broke from the Boston Globe. Finally, someone covered this shit. Because it should have been
yeah,
covered for years. I've seen so many goddamn documentaries of people that grew up in the Catholic Church, were sexually assaulted, molested, raped, whatever you may want to say. And it's just like, how many people went through this goddamn experience before someone's going to say something? And how do people
exactly.
still go to the fucking Catholic Church just going like, yeah? I mean,
It just
I have
yeah,
extended
it's just
family.
the thing that's accepted.
I have
Yeah,
extended family who they will remain nameless, but for years we're still giving money to the Catholic Church. I'm like, no, 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 no. This isn't paying for like Friday fish fry. This is going back to the people that are enabling people to rape, pillage, plunder people's lives. Fuck that. Don't do that shit. Go find another charitable cause. Don't fucking trust them. They're a bunch of snakes. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. So, good on Spotlight to do that. I just think Mad Max Fury Road is legitimately perfect. Ergo, it should win.
Sure. Yeah.
To bring it back to
Do you have
movies.
do you have any other changes?
Nope, no changes.
Okay.
I don't have another. There's not a. As you know, I'm far more of a popular movie watcher as opposed to an Oscar movie watcher. There's
Okay.
not. I don't. There's not a single movie that I think is of that caliber to be put into that discussion outside of Fury Road.
Okay.
I think Inside Out could maybe make a discussion for a Best Picture nom.
One I have. I took out Brooklyn and Bridge of Spies, which is surprising considering it's Spielberg
Spielberg with Tom
movie.
Hanks and it's fucking good.
Yeah. I
Still
love.
never seen it all the way through, but
I really like Bridge of Spies and Brooklyn. They're not as good as Inside Out or Sicario.
all
So
right, fair.
yeah, those are the two changes. But yeah, overall, I actually think the slate of best pictures are actually all really good.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it's. I think that's a good reflection of what it should be.
I think the worst one is probably The Martian, and that's still enjoyable watch.
Yeah. Favorite movie of the year?
Probably Inside Out
Oh, okay.
or Sicario. It's tough.
I so I have two here. Mad Max Fury Road obviously would be in that discussion, but this is also a sentimental favorite beyond the fact that it's a comfort watch for me. Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. I thought it was 2016, came out late 2015. I love that movie, and now it's become a very sentimental favorite due to some family ties as well. So those two are the ones that. The more I think about Mad Max Fury Road, the more I respect it and like it. So
I mean,
there's a chance. Spoiler alert: it may or may not be in my top 100. There's a chance I'm gonna have to revisit this as we're recording those shows because I'm gonna keep going. I think I might like it more than this. I think I might like it more than this.
yeah, hey, that happens.
That happens a lot.